So today we are going to be designing a toy box for a friend of mine. Something I'd like to be able to do. Hopefully, get a process down so that I can sell them in the future. But for now, we're just making it for a friend. But I want to get a design into Shapr3D so that I can have a good sense of what I'm building and how I'm building it. So Shapr3D is my preferred CAD software. I've tried SketchUp and Fusion 360, and they're frankly just a little bit over my head. Shapr3D is a little bit simpler and very, very good for woodworking, I feel like, because the default is that shapes are solid versus hollow, which confused me in SketchUp. I'm also very cheap, so I use the free version of Shapr3D for now. There are some limitations, one of which is that you can only have 2 projects going at a time. However, the workaround for that is that if you open this up, you can create folders within the project and just contain your project in the folder, right? So I've got all these different things that I've designed. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a new folder, rename that to Toy Box, and start from there. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to create our initial boards. So we're going to zoom in just a bit here. And we're going to design a rectangle. Nope, we want diagonal because that's just easier. We'll start at the center origin here. So we are going to go 33 inches this way, and it's going to be 0.625 inches thick because it's 5/8 of an inch, because I'm going to buy 3/4 inch dimensional pine, build it out of that, but we're going to plane it down, so it'll wind up about 5/8. These dimensions don't super matter. They will work out in the end. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this up to 3 inches, and that is the size of our board. So that's a 33 by 3 board. I'll take 1x4s that I'm going to buy and just rip them down to 3 inches to get nice square edges. So I want it to be 18 inches tall. So what we're going to do is we're going to delete the sketch plane. One thing, if you're working in Shapr3D in the free version and using multiple folders, you want to delete your sketch planes as you go. I know a lot of people save them so that you can reuse them, but sketch planes get in the way of other sketch planes in the different folders, so they're annoying to keep around when you're doing it this way. And then we're going to do this 33-inch long board template, and then we're going to just put this in the folder so that we don't forget. It's better to keep everything organized as you go. So we're going to copy this and we're going to move it up 3 inches, and then we're going to move it up 3 more inches. Nope, forgot to copy it. And then we're going to move it up 3 inches. Then we're going to move it up 3 inches. And then we're going to move it up 3 inches. Nope, god damn it. See, I'm not all that great at this at the moment. 3 inches. All right, so that is 15 inches total. And we will go up 1 more set of 3 inches for 18 inches tall. All right, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. So we've got 1 board here, so we are going to now group all of these into a subfolder. Again, staying organized as you do it. Front of box. And then we can just take this and we can copy it. And we are going to bring this back 18 inches, but we actually don't want it to be 18 inches. We want it to be 17 and 5/8 over, because we need the thickness of the board so that the total is 18 inches. So we actually want it to 17 point 5 minus 125 4375. So then that, unless I did my math in my head wrong, point 2 point. So we'll go here to here. It's 18 inches. Hey, look at that. I did my math right. So the next thing we have to do is obviously make the sides. Did it right. Okay. Sometimes when you draw that rectangle, it draws it over here or like really far away. It's hard sometimes to get the sketch plane or the sketch onto the plane that you actually want it on. So 0.625, that's another thing that's frustrating, is I don't always know which direction. It feels like if I click on it from this side and go this way, that it should just know that when I put in 0.625 that I want to go this way, not that I want to go the other way. But you got to use negative and positive, and I'm not always sure which one is which. And I'm sure a lot of that is just I'm bad at this. -3, and then negative. Alright, so we will put all these into a folder. Left panel. Put you in here. Delete our sketch plane just so it doesn't interfere later. Rename back of box. And again, it's just easier to keep track. So this is 33. So we want to move it and copy it. 32.375. 375. And that went the wrong direction, of course, because why wouldn't it? Copy -32.375. There's other ways to do it, but this way, kind of, you know your measurements are right, and you can get it the way you want it. All right, so we got the box. If I wanted to, I could go in here and design the joinery to go in between. But up at the makerspace, I have access to a domino, so I'll probably just domino the panels together. So there's no need to really show that in the design. You can use whatever you want. You can screw them. If you want, just glue them, probably plenty strong enough, especially because we're going to be putting legs in front of this. There's a lot of different options that you can do. So next thing that we're going to do, I guess, is we will add in leg rectangle. So we'll do 3 inches there, just so we can use the same. What? I don't want it to do that. I would like it. Nope. I don't need a rectangle there. What I need you to do is, there we go. All right. So we're going to do 18.25 because I want it slightly off the ground, and we're going to go 3. There we go. All right, so those legs will be just below. It looks like we are going to have to hide the front box so that we can access this. And then this is going to go 0.625. Perfect. And we are actually, I forgot, we actually need to move this over this way, 0.625, because we are going to put another rectangle here. And what we're going to do is we are going to copy this, and we are going to rotate it 90 degrees along this axis. And then we're going to move it out here, and then we're going to move it back to here. Oops, I was copying all those. That's okay. No need to get angry, because the program doesn't always do what you want. Like right now, I can't zoom in for whatever reason, because it hates me. So we're going to just make this leg assembly. Leg assembly. There we go. So this is not actually where it needs to be. This needs to be over a hair, and this way a hair. You can also use the align tools to do this a little bit more accurately, but I didn't. One thing that we also need to do, you don't need to do this, but this is a preference for me. This length here is actually 5/8 of an inch longer than the front length here. So if you want them to be equal, you need to bring this over so that this is 0.375, so that this board is actually smaller than this board, because now this face is going to be the same dimension as this face, right? If you don't do that, this will be slightly longer. Not a big deal, but it's just a nice little design feature that you can put in there. The other thing that I thought about is you want to think about which one is in front. I don't want to see the seam when this is finished, so I put the face board in the front, and then the seam will be on the side so that you can't see it. What we're going to do then is we're just going to back up just a bit. Sorry for anyone who gets vertigo. And we're going to take this leg assembly, we're going to copy it, and then we're going to move it over here. And then we are going to rotate it 180 degrees. Oh, shouldn't have copied it again, but that's okay. So this one can get deleted. And then I will show you, hopefully, if I can do it, how to align this to this. And then we're going to use the align tool again, because that didn't quite do it the way I wanted it to. We're going to align this to this. It's not maintaining our alignment. That's okay. We'll just move it from here. Now that we got one reference point aligned, we can do it here. So then we're going to do essentially the same thing, except we're going to copy both of them, and then we are going to copy, flip them over 180, and then uncheck copy so that we don't mess it up, and then we're just going to move it over to here. So I think what we'll do is we'll add the base next. So let's see what's the best way to add this. The way I'm probably going to do this is I'm going to put a small shelf bracket here, and then run slats over it. So again, we need another rectangle. Woodworking is really just all about building rectangles. And is this? Oh, yep. So that was a mistake. This is something that you need to know is when you select this, you want to make sure you extrude it as a new body. You don't want it to union to your other piece. I mean, I guess you can if you want it to union to your other piece. Obviously, there are scenarios in which you do want that, but for this, I want it to be a unique piece. Okay, and then so now we are just going to put in some. So these are going to be, keep everything organized. Again, you do not want to wind up with all your stuff. Base shelf brackets. And then we'll delete the sketch plane. Again, it's annoying. And then what we're going to do is we're going to create some more rectangles. Come in here. There we go. There we go. All right, so we're going to do 3 inches, and then I think it's 16.75 if I recall right. Let's see how I did. Yep, that's it. And then we'll extrude this up. 0.65. Perfect. And then, oops, nope, that's to the inside bracket. I screwed that up. Let's see if I can. Okay. Scroll back. There we go. So let's floorboard. So let's take our front and our back and just hide them for a second to make this easier, and then we will extrude this here, and then we'll come over here and we'll extrude this to here. For the most part, this does a really good job of snapping to the lines that make sense. Actually, we'll leave the front and back missing for now, just because that'll probably be a little bit easier to see this. We don't have to deal with the weird angles or anything. Hide that one, and then what we're going to do is we're going to copy it, move it over, it's 3 inches, and then we are going to extrude this back to, we'll just put it all the way back for now because I don't have a good view here. And so we'll just extrude to the end here, and then we'll put our right panel back up, and then we have our floor. Now, obviously, I'll think about the math behind which one. That one just might go in the middle, or I might divide the end 2 in half so it's a little symmetrical, but we'll worry about that when we're actually building it. For now, we know that we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 boards to make it. That's really what I need to know here. So what are we putting back? Front of box, back of box. Last thing that we're going to do is we are going to build our top. So let's just copy this, and then we will rotate you 90 degrees, and we'll delete you because I keep forgetting to unselect that. Not a big deal. Take you, and we'll bring you up to here. I think we might do, this might be a good one for the alignment. So come on. So we are going to move you over here, just-ish, and then we are going to align. What are we going to align? How are we going to do this? So we're going to align this. So we're going to align this line to this line. There we go. And then from there, we can, so you're locked in. Okay, good. Right. So now what we actually want to do is we want this to overhang a little bit. So we're going to move it ½ an inch this way, and then we're going to move it ½ an inch this way to give ourselves a nice ½ inch alignment. And then so we're going to bring this to there. Come on. See, and then we're going to 35.25. Okay, right. So that gives us a nice ½ inch alignment. And then so we will copy this and we will move it over 3 inches. Okay, and that gives us a little reveal there, which is good. Again, I'll probably trim this a little bit and see how the reveal actually looks in the finished piece. But for now, this is probably good. That's a little too much, so we'll probably take a ½ inch off of it. Yeah, that's a little bit better. I'm not going to bother to put the hinges in or anything like that. Those will just go back here. There's really no need for it in this design. What I will say, however, is I don't think that the hinges will work here, because if I put the hinges attached to this board, it's going to bump into the leg board unless I have some sort of fancy door opening hinges, which are expensive, and I don't want to use those. I want to use, $5 hinges from the hardware store, not fancy hinges. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hide the lid for a second, and we're going to put another small board literally just to hold the hinges here. That'll be in the back, so you won't see it anyway, so it's not a big deal. And so we're going to... Okay, yeah, so that's another example of it. Thinks that I want to draw something very much where I don't. I think, did that do it? Where did you draw that? Okay. So we can extrude this to 0.625. Yeah. So we got our lid. What you can do if you want to kind of show how it looks is you can just rotate it 90 degrees. Nope, that didn't work. You can rotate it. Can I do this? I don't actually know if I can do this easily. There is a rotate around an axis. I wonder if I can rotate it around this axis. That's not what I wanted. Let's try -90. Rotate around axis. -90 degrees. There we go. So that shows the lid open. Oops. So if I wanted to, I could put the hinges in here. You can build little hinges. You can also very easily 125 give everything little roundovers, just to look pretty. 0.125. I probably should have done that before I copied all the legs, so I didn't have to do this a million times, but I didn't, so kids will very easily slam their fingers in here, and we can put those little stopper pads on top of the legs to alleviate that a little bit, but those aren't as thick as a finger. All right, so what I think we want to do is cut out these pieces, just little rounds, a little groove at the top of this board. So I wonder what the best way to do that is. I'm sure there's a lot of ways to do it. I think what we're gonna do, just because this is kind of how I think, I think we're going to draw a rectangle. We'll call it 1 inch. 1. Okay, let's just make sure that's on the plane we want it on. It is. Okay. So what we're actually going to do is, instead of extruding it positive, we're going to extrude it negative and delete it. And then let's delete that too. And then can we come in here and chamfer these? I think we can. Guess something like that, and I want to do it on the sides too, so we'll do the exact same thing here. This is also one of the issues I feel like with the free version of Shapr3D is you don't have a lot of visualization options. So like in the professional version, you can make this all a wood tone and make it all look all pretty. I'm sure you can hide those sketch lines. Who knows, maybe there's a way to hide the sketch lines in here as well that I just don't know. But yeah, so that is our toy box. So now you can see the kids lifting the lid and they put it down. They're not going to slam their hands in there. There's probably also in the professional paid versions of Shapr3D, you can download elements. So I'm sure that they have a piston already made, a hinge already made for this that I could just download and drop in rather than having to create my own. I don't really want to create my own hinge. It's kind of a pain and it's not necessary for what I'm doing. Yeah, but this is definitely enough for me. Like, I can get a nice cut list out of this. I know the sizes that I need. I have a good sense of the joinery that I'm looking for. I have a real good sense of the cuts that I'm going to need to make. So I can go out and buy enough lumber to actually make this in a fairly accurate manner. This is actually good. So yeah, so that took me about a half hour to design, which isn't too bad. Like I said, Shapr3D is pretty great for, you can do incredibly complex things, but it's really, really good for the simple stuff, which is what I appreciate about it. 99% of the design that I'm doing is making rectangles because wood is rectangles. This works really, really well, and I know like Bevelis Creations, he does amazing things in Shapr3D and is an actual CAD designer, I think, and can do a lot with it. But for somebody who have never actually used CAD professionally in any way, never taken any real courses or anything in it, just learned it all on YouTube. This would have taken me a very, very long time to make in SketchUp just because the interface for that just doesn't work for me for whatever reason, just the way that the math works and the systems work. This works so much better. I love Shapr3D. Yeah, so there is our toy box. So I'll get building and hopefully we'll get a video out about that very soon.